Louisiana beer reviews. Schlitz Gusto Classic 1960s formula. Schlitz Classic 1960s formula was introduced in 2008, and it's been sold on a regional basis, but now here in 2011 it's going nationwide. When I first bought this in 2009 in Racine, Wisconsin, you could only get it in the bottles or on tap at a bar, which I also had it in. Then in 2010 I went back up to the Chicago area and got the Schlitz in the can. They had them in the so-called tall boy 16-ounce can, although the original tall boy of the 1950s through 80s, I guess, was a 24-ounce can. And then I was stunned to see this yesterday in Lafayette, Louisiana, a 12-pack of 12-ounce cans. So it's here, it's in Louisiana, at least in parts of Louisiana, and I'll pour this into my Schlitz glass. The Schlitz Gusto Classic 1960s formula is 4.7% alcohol. Gets a most excellent rating on the Beer and Me. It gets an above average rating on Rate Beer, and it gets a B on Beer Advocate, and I gave it an A-. So I'm going to try to be open-minded, of course. Lots of smoke coming out this can. Actually, this is not the 1960s formula. It's a recreation, an attempt to mimic the 60s formula, because when Schlitz was bought out by Stroh's in 1982 and then acquired by Pabst in 1999, Schlitz had been in such disarray that they didn't even have records of the original 60s formula. And you may know that Schlitz went through all kind of chaos in the 70s, and look at all those bubbles streaming up. It's a clear golden yellow appearance, yellow golden appearance. Schlitz had some production problems in the 70s. Yeah, you can really smell the barley malt, the bread. It has a much more bready and barley aroma than a typical American style lager. I find it's more like a European style lager, really. Anyway, they reformulated Schlitz in '77, tried to fix the problems they had. And the 1977 to 2011 version is still on the shelves. I have a review of that. I think it's very good. But this is more of an older style recipe. So a better name would be Classic 60s Mimicked Formula, or attempt to recreate the formula. Anyway. It's a lot hoppier than the regular Schlitz, although the regular 77 to present formula is hoppy as well. This is a little relatively higher amount of hoppiness. You do pick up the barley malt. I guess they use a corn adjunct, I'm not sure. It's not real prominent. The beer is round, as they say, which means it's well balanced between the grains and the hops. The body is light and watery, as you would expect from an American style lager. It might be a little bit more, and I mean just a little bit more, medium bodied, but not really much more. The finish is crisp, clean, and refreshing. It's dry, as you would also expect from American style lager. But this is very good. It's delicious. They did a fine job with this. a lot of people, when I drink Schlitz or I show them Schlitz, they'll say, oh, they brought that back. When did they stop making it, or when did they bring it back? And Schlitz never did stop production, except during Prohibition. Schlitz has been around since 1849. It's the third oldest American beer brand behind Schaefer and Pabst, which also began in the 1840s. But Schlitz was simply acquired by Stroh's, who went around buying up struggling beer companies. And Schlitz actually was a much more prominent American company than Stroh's. It's just had terrible debt problems and union problems. Pabst also was a struggling company. They went around buying up other struggling companies, but apparently they did a better job of running their operations because they're still around and they own an enormous array of brands. So Schlitz is a Pabst Brewing Company brand. It's brewed by Miller and other companies who Pabst has made contracts with, and I don't even know this, but I suspect that Pabst and Miller might be secretly united as a single business, but I can't prove that. They certainly operate as a single brewing company, just like Coors and Miller do. But whatever the case, it doesn't really matter to me. This is a very good beer. I would highly recommend giving it a chance. I think it probably is the best of the American style adjunct lagers. If you get a chance to buy the regular Schlitz, you better hurry up and buy it and try it, because it's not going to be around for much longer apparently. They're phasing it out as this one goes nationwide. I saw some regular Schlitz up there in Baton Rouge and I hurried up and bought it. If I see some today, I'm going to pick that up. You can't even get Schlitz in LaPlace, Louisiana at all. Closest we can get it around here is Hammond, Louisiana to the north, Metairie, Louisiana to the east, and Baton Rouge, but maybe it's closer to the west than Baton Rouge, northwest. Anyway, Laissez le bon temps rouler. This is a very good beer. I'm going to stick with my A rating, my A- rating. I think it's excellent. I just love this tasty beer. So, thumbs up to Schlitz. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to New Orleans and attend the Jazz and Heritage Festival.